The first round of the NFL draft has come to a close, and Will Levis still doesn't have a team. Nick Roush and Adam Luckett here in Kansas City, where we saw Bryce Young go number 1 overall. We saw C.J. Stroud, a lot of smoke screens.
Yep.
Thought he was going to go number 2. That didn't happen.
Nope, it did not.
We got a crazy trade. Will Anderson goes to the Texans at number 3. Number 4 comes up. Will Levis time? No. We were told all along, Luckett, that Will Levis was going to be the pick for the Indianapolis Colts. They were in love with him. Turns out he was the smokescreen for them to get the Florida Gators, Anthony Richardson. And then we waited, and we waited, and we waited, and we're still waiting.
I think the whole time in this draft process, the line in the sand was drawn at 4 with the Colts. And he thought if something happened there, I predict Richardson would fall. But it turned out Levis was the one to fall here. And then it turns out like the Titans wanted Stroud. They couldn't get Stroud, so they traded down and then went Peter Skoronski. You looked elsewhere. The Vikings, you thought maybe that was the final spot. That was the safe landing spot, 23. The Vikings pass. They go Jordan Addison in the first round. And then you get to the end of the draft and Will Levis is still sitting in the green room.
Yeah. And we even were waiting on bated breath for a potential trade.
Trade up, yeah.
If you trade up into the first round, you can get a potential 5th-year option. So there's a chance to get a franchise quarterback for a rookie deal an extra year, and nobody was willing to make that gamble. We'll talk about potential second-round destinations elsewhere. But to be quite frank with you, we prepared pretty well for this. We wrote about Will Levis till we were damn blue in the face. We had thought of almost every single outcome, and we were prepared for it. We had a checklist. We were going to do this and this and this, and as soon as he was going to get picked, and pow, pow, pow. Yeah. Now we don't really know what we're doing. We don't really know, because this was the one outcome we did not prepare for.
And I just kind of looked at the second round list right before we came in here, and it's like we're looking at the same teams. Just passed on him in the first round. If you passed on him on the first round, why would you take him in the second round? If you don't need a quarterback, like when does it value become such a big thing for him as a prospect that we got to take this guy if he's here? And so it's stunning. I mean, I don't know another word for it. It was really kind of shocking that it happened. That he fell, I don't think was crazy. I definitely thought that was on the table. I thought one of Richardson and Levis was going to fall in this draft. I just thought somebody, if worse came to worse, somebody would trade up into the 20s and draft him. Yeah. That did not happen here. And now
big surprise.
He's probably going to go off the board at some point in the second round.
Yeah, and the other aspect of this that I find difficult to wrap my brain around is the whole time we talked about him getting healing up and from his injuries, right? That's why he opted out of the bowl game, was to get healthy. Well, now Chris Mortensen's reporting that there's still some long-term questions about his toe. And what I'm going to be saying on talk radio tomorrow morning, what a lot of people are going to be saying on talk radio is, man, Rich Scangarello really did screw him. Bring on the blitz. Well, they brought on the blitz. They injured him. He played through it all year. And according to Chris Mortensen, some teams think he needs surgery to get it fixed. Will Levis disagreed, and that was the impetus behind him falling for one team. Now, that seems a little petty on mine. Like, if they really thought, like that seems like a convenient excuse, in my opinion, for thinking that they could go back and get him at a later time if they wanted.
Now, with Mort, it's just the way that read was it was just one team.
Yeah.
And it's just part of being in the draft machine. But we did hear about interviews maybe didn't go so great in Indianapolis.
Yep.
If Levis is bucking against medical advice.
You're right, exactly. And he's overconfident, and that's part of it. If
that happened with multiple teams, you could see why a fall could happen. Like, it's something we'll probably never know, but how much medical stuff is there? How many red flags are there for teams when grading him as a prospect? That's something we have to wonder now, I think. Was there a medical issue here that maybe took him, or maybe not took him off the board, but knocked him down a few rungs
just enough,
on the big boards?
And the worst part, too, is going through this whole night, I almost felt like we were Will Levis as well, because it's not like our jobs are that hard. We were just sitting there hanging out at the draft, right? It's pretty fun. But it's also, 3 hours past my bedtime. We've been walking back and forth, standing up, talking to people, locked in, ready to roll. And now all of a sudden we're playing this waiting game, and we're still playing it. What it means moving forward for Levis, what it means for Kentucky. He's going to be a draft pick. They're going to talk about him a lot. We didn't get to see the shots of the green room except through Twitter, and it looked painful. I'm feeling for him right now. It's tough. Because, what do you even do in that situation?
Yeah, no one, I don't think, he wouldn't have been invited if they thought this was going to happen.
True.
If he was a borderline.
Now, those ESPN analytics are garbage, too. If he was 90% he was going to be top 10. Come on.
Hendon Hooker wasn't at this draft, and he was a borderline first round, second round pick. Mel Kiper had him as the number 2 quarterback in this draft the entire time, did not budge from that ranking. And he's still on the board here, going into the second round. It's something I thought was. I think this was fairly unpredictable. I don't think really anyone saw that coming. I think it's maybe a sign that overall the leagues and maybe the NFL's in pretty decent quarterback shape. People feel good about their situations.
But, we had been through this before, right? Aaron Rodgers sitting around, waiting around for a while. He slides, ends up getting picked 20. You've seen other quarterbacks slide, go on to have some success. But this slide is farther than normal. He's also not the first person to show up, think he's going to be a first-round pick, and have to wait till day 2. It's happened before. We haven't Googled it yet. We're still wrapping our brains around it, but he wouldn't be the first guy that thought he was going to be day 1 and ends up getting picked on day 2.
Yeah, but overall, it
stinks.
Dealing with this unexpected adversity is, you feel for him. Will Levis is gonna be fine.
Yeah.
But this is,
it's tough.
Financially, that's a big hit he took today.
Yeah.
The money is significant from being top 5 to going 40 at 42 or whatever he could go tomorrow.
Yeah, so it's really tough. We're still trying to wrap our brains around it. We still have plenty more content coming to you from the NFL Draft, thanks to our good friends at Monticello Bank. The Go NBC mobile app, they go wherever you go. They sponsor 11 personnel. They're good friends of ours. They've got 21 locations, 21 branches, 14 different areas. Go NBC mobile app, GoNBC.com. They're here for the people, to work for the people, to put the numbers on your side. Maybe they can put the numbers back on Will Levis's side tomorrow. Where we go next, it is some exciting content. We met some hilarious people today. You're overall, though, aside from Will Levis sliding, you're a draft, Nick. You love this stuff. Your first NFL draft experience. Sum it up for us.
Well, number one, the Rams are lurking here. The Lexington Rams could come full circle tomorrow. They have an early second round pick. What's the deal with Matthew Stafford? You want to talk about injury history or injury issues? What's the deal there? You want to talk about the same offense, literally. So that's definitely, I think that's on the table. And the Rams, they had to go get Baker Mayfield. They do not have a good backup situation at all, and that's something they probably need to address in this draft. But overall, Nick, this experience has been awesome. The draft is a very cool experience. It is long.
Oh, yeah. A lot of standing around.
A lot of people were getting out of there about after the 12th pick.
Waiting around for the house band while they're singing cover music, and you're just I guess I'll just dance a little bit.
But this is it's like football con. We've got, Raiders people dressed up, the black hole in the house. 8 trillion Patrick Mahomes jerseys. 8
trillion is an
We
understatement.
saw, wasn't Fireman Ed here for the Jets?
Yep.
The guy in the Eagles jersey that dresses up.
Bucknut from Ohio State.
Just Google Bucknut and you'll find out who that is. People just acting crazy for just not even a game. This is the world's best hiring seminar. This is what we're here. Everybody's just here to see guys get jobs, to get hired somewhere.
Yeah.
People just spending a lot of money and just having a lot of fun. And it's a very cool experience. If you ever get a chance to go, it's a long day, maybe not, but a couple hours here, you'll have a blast.
Oh man, we've had a blast. We'd have more fun if Will Levis would have gotten his name called, but we'll still have plenty of content from Kansas City, and we'll be ready to rock and roll to tell you everything you need to know about Will Levis and his next destination when he finally hears his name called at the 2023 NFL Draft in Kansas City.